Hi, like my laptop is completely frozen, so I just wanted to pop back in and do that mindfulness practice with you, just because I said I would and I wanted to. So I just want you to make yourself comfortable. Actually, if you've just joined, I'm just going to lead a very short mindfulness practice because it's really simple. It's a simple practice to do. I do 2 times 10 minutes a day of mindfulness practice myself. I do it with a guy in Scotland. So he's my alarm clock because it's a 6:15 a.m. practice and a 3:15 in the afternoon practice. So I have this alarm clock that I do first thing in the morning, and I do the 3:15 in the afternoon, which is just a way for me to. And it's to find out, it's to get to know yourself, it's to get to know how you trip yourself up with your stories. So some days when I do my mindfulness practice, I'm completely peaceful, and then other days I have seen myself being pulled out completely of the meditation and almost practicing what I'm going to say to a class of students, and then realizing that I'm in the middle of my practice and then having a giggle and then going back into my practice again. But that's how strong our thoughts can be. They can pull us right out of whatever it was we were planning to do, because it's like your thought grows arms and legs. So mindfulness practice is getting to know what's going on inside of you, moods, personalities, whatever it is. It's checking in with, who are you today, like what version of yourself are you today. And if you're in a bad mood, if you're impatient, if you're bitchy or whatever, you can discover that, and you can look and you can choose to focus on a nicer version of yourself. So changing your focus away from the impatience, away from the anger, away from the resentment, away from the whatever else is negative that you've found, and focus on something nicer. Focus on, you can hear sounds of people laughing, you can hear birds chirping, you can just be glad that you're alive. You're focusing on your breath. And you can't take your breath for the future, and you can't take it for the past. You can only take this one blessed, magnificent breath. So, on that note, let me just invite you now to close your eyes gently. Okay, I can't see you, so close your eyes gently and just check in with your physical body. Okay, so the first thing I'm asking you to do is just to check in with your physical body. Okay, so notice where you've placed your feet. Notice where you've placed your hands. It's quite good if you can place your hands in your lap, one on top of the other, with your thumbs. So, how does your eyes are closed? You're in this mindfulness practice, and the mindfulness teacher is just whittering on. How are you feeling? Okay, so just notice that. Mindfulness is all about noticing, and at the moment we're noticing our physical body. So I'm going to scan quickly through your body with you. So notice how your head is. Notice how the back of your neck feels. Okay, notice how your shoulders feel. Are they up round your ears, or could you let them drop away? Give your ears a holiday and let them relax. Again, just notice where you've placed your hands, and I was just saying comfortable place so that you know where they are. Okay, because sometimes we tend to get fidgety in our early practice. So just notice how your back feels. Are you sitting up straight? Your spine supporting you? And again, just noticing your feet hopefully flat on the floor. Okay, not dangling in the air. Just feeling a surface underneath your feet if you can. And now I'm just going to ask you to look inside your head. Okay, so imagine that you can look inside your head just to see what's going on there. What kind of mood are you in today? Has something happened earlier and there's a residual feeling been left from that? Are you just prone to the odd thought popping in and popping out again? Or do you hold on to them when a thought comes in? Do you start to go off with a story? Maybe you're in a peaceful place right now, and that's great. But any of the states that you find inside of your head are great, because you are taking the time to pay attention to them. So you are noticing what's going on inside of your head. You're noticing that who is showing up right now. Which version of you is showing up in your head right now? And that's what mindfulness is, paying attention to where you are right now. And then the third thing we do is we bring our attention to the breath, which I explained is always there and can't be taken for the future, and it can't be taken for the past. So mindfulness practice can be incredibly boring, but so can working out at the gym. And the point of the mindfulness practice is to more and more be able to focus and to let your troublesome thoughts or moods just fade into the background as you focus on your breath. And you can focus on it going in at the tip of your nose. And you can do that right now. So breathing in at the tip of your nose and breathing out there. And perhaps when you breathe in, just noticing when the in-breath becomes an out-breath. It happens without us paying any attention. Our automatic mind just does it. But when we pay attention to it, it can become very peaceful. We don't have to change anything. We just notice what our breath is doing. And it can be like seeing our internal weather pattern, because if it's fast and shallow, then we know that we're not relaxed. So what we want to try and do is to slow it down a little bit so that we can spend more time breathing in clear, fresh breath, and a little bit longer breathing out calm, quiet, peaceful breath. So breathing in fresh, clear breath, and breathing out quiet, peaceful breath. Perhaps noticing how it feels cool when it goes in through your nostrils, and perhaps feels a bit warmer when you breathe out. And one of the practices that we can do in the early days is to count our breath, just for 5 or 6 cycles, or maybe up to 10 cycles, but counting 1 to 10. So breathing in the number 1 and breathing out the number 2. Breathing in the number 3 and out the number 4. So just doing it like that up to 10, and then going back to 1 again. So 1 through 10, 1 through 10, 1 through 10. Just doing it 5 times. And sometimes we notice that we've been dragged off at number 4 and that we're in a thought and we've forgotten to keep going, or we find ourselves at number 26. So the practice of counting our breath, it's building up your focus, it's building up your mindfulness muscle. So it's just a very short exercise that you can do along with paying attention to your physical body, what's going on emotionally with you, and then practicing with your breath. So breathing in and breathing out. And I'm just going to leave you there for a couple of minutes and then I'll come back in. So however many cycles you get through, and without judgment if you get distracted, just gently bring yourself back as soon as you realise you're distracted, and that is mindfulness. The minute you notice that you're not counting your breath anymore, you're not paying attention to it, that's mindfulness. So just for a couple of minutes I'm going to leave you there and then I'll begin and finish. Mindfulness is always a practice. It's never mindfulness perfect. It's always a practice. And just accepting the experience of it is part of it. and we can grow that. And as we grow the mindfulness, we can grow our ability to step back from our reactions so that we can respond to situations. So just becoming aware again of your feet and wiggling your toes. Becoming aware of your fingers and wiggling your fingers. Noticing your eyes behind your eyelids if you've still got your eyes closed. And just gently taking 2 or 3 deeper breaths than you have been. And just opening your eyes. And it's really helpful to have a drink afterwards. So if you decide to take mindfulness practice, and I think what I'll try and do is to post a couple of links to places that you can do mindfulness practice. And if you're interested, you can always get in touch with me. I don't run classes yet. I've been quite remiss since I moved to Canada in doing many classes except my batch classes. So I will be reintroducing mindfulness classes at some point. And maybe if anybody's interested, if you get in touch with me, it will be the nudge that I need. But for now, I thank you for your joining me. I have no clue what time it is because now I'm using my phone for the live. So I hope that I haven't gone too much over time. And yeah, so any questions, I will, I think, pop my details in the chat, maybe in the comment box underneath the videos. And get in touch. I'm always happy to answer a couple of quick questions. If quick questions become lengthy questions, then a consultation's better for both of us. And I love to talk about both mindfulness and patch flower remedies. So if you know any other routes that, the groups who are interested in self-care, then I'm always happy to share what knowledge I know and my experiences. So namaste and thank you for joining me.